So this is episode 2, part 1 of Team ORCC 23, and today we're going to get the ball rolling as you're going to join me as I go off to visit Jake from Sprung, who's going to get my bike suspension dialed perfectly. All right, we'll see you there. Well, today I'm pretty excited because I'm going to have my bike suspension set up professionally, and to do that we have Jake. He is the owner of Sprung and he's been setting up bike suspension for about 15 years. So Jake, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and Sprung?
Cool, yeah, so my name's Jake. I own and run Sprung Suspension Workshop. We're a suspension service and tuning centre in the Forest of Dean. Work like nationally. A lot of our jobs are postage, but you know, we're here, we're in a place where we, like, all of our staff are riders, we all ride, and you know, if you want to drop your stuff off and come for a ride, or you know, like, we're open to that.
Awesome.
Anything for more time on the bike.
Cool. So what are the main things that we're looking for when it comes to setting up suspension for enduro racing?
So I mean, suspension setup generally, there are some fundamentals that we look to get right before we even would want to go outside with the bike. Yeah. Sag is your number one thing, and also something that we see a lot of issues with that people don't necessarily clock onto as being part of your bike setup for suspension is tyre pressure.
Sure.
So tyre pressure and sag we would be looking to get, you know, totally dialed before you even really leave the building.
Cool.
Rebound damping and compression damping, we can get you pretty close from the amount of data testing that we've done, data we've got in our system, dyno data as well from running suspension testing under an atmosphere that we know, you know, less variables.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, we can get you pretty close, but yeah, the sag is your number one thing that we would work on. You know, with anyone before you leave the building, it's the most important thing.
Awesome. So today we're going to have a full setup from Jake. Can you just tell us how we're going to go about that? What today entails?
Yeah. So we do offer this as a service. You can book a clinic with us for 3 hours for like a workshop setup, which is we just do the inside bit, a half day where we'll go out and ride some trails as well, or a whole day where it's a lot more in depth. Go through today, we'll set some sag in here, we'll take the settings of your bike as it is currently too, so you know, we've got a baseline, we know where we've gone from that.
Sure.
We'll go through, set sag, set some damping in here, just as what we think is a ballpark figure of where you want to be. Once we've done that, we'll go and hit the trails, ride some sections. I'll do some slow-mo video analysis, and hopefully you guys will be able to see a visual improvement in how the bike's handling. Awesome.
Right, let's go and get that sorted.
So all I'm going to do now is go through and count clicks and get some settings of what is on the bike now. So starting with rear shock, rebound dials down here. So yeah. Cool. That's open. It's a 500 spring. Check the air. There's 85 psi in there. I'm going to drop the air out and check the volume spaces. Cool. So there's 2 in there.
Cool.
Amazing. What I'm doing is checking that that's open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'll go to rebound. Right, and click is referring to the fact that it has this.
Okay.
It has a middle click. Cool, so we know where we're at now. So now we will get you on the bike and see where you're at sag-wise.
Awesome, let's do it. So Jake's just asked me to disappear and get into my race attire, so obviously the nice lovely Northwave kit and helmet, mostly because obviously I'm going to be wearing this while I'm racing, and you know, this is going to be the weight of the stuff, or the weight of it'll be my race weight effectively.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's next?
Yeah, so yeah, obviously we say to get in your riding kit because the amount of kit that people ride with really varies, whether you have a massive pack or no pack at all. So it's just a good way of being as close as we can in this situation. And if there's something you're going to do at home, it's worth doing.
Cool.
Yeah, so next thing, hop on the bike.
All right.
I'm going to stand legs either side of the front wheel and simply using my arms on the bars to help steady you. But I mean, it's pretty stable, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Cool, okay, so if you stand up on the pedals, get into what you would consider to be like your normal neutral riding position, we say for this. So some people would describe it as like attack position, but if you do that when you're in a static situation like this, people tend to lean far too far over the front. So like, we use the phrase like, just get into your neutral riding position. So yeah,
it's quite hard to kind of, now we're stood still. So,
oh yeah, no it is, yeah.
I would say it's about that.
Cool, okay. So now you're there, give the bike a really good bounce up and down through the suspension. Hard. Not really hard, but just hard enough to make both ends move. And what this does is break any friction that we're encountering. So it gives us a bit of a reading that will be closer to your actual dynamic sag when you're riding. Okay. Give the bike a good bounce up and down, let it settle, and then get back into your position you're in now. Cool. Okay? Cool. That's cool. Let it settle down. Then I'm just going to move the O-ring on the fork down against the seal. Then I will generally like hold the fork up so you can't compress it anymore, and then if you just hop off. So I've got Glamorous Assistant now holding the front wheel for us. And because this is a coil shock, you don't have your O-ring on the damper body of the shock to actually get like a really easy reading of sag. So got my Glamorous Assistant Duncan, and all I'm going to do is measure the eye to eye of the shock with Liam on it. So we can measure the sag and work that out from there. Okie dokie, hop off. So we've just measured the sag with tape measure on the rear shock, which comes at 19 millimeters of shaft travel, which works out as 29.2% sag. So where we'd be aiming for 30, I think 29.2, we're well in the ballpark there. So we've got no need to change the spring. So at least there you're starting somewhere good. Great. Fork wise, we've checked the sag on that. It's just around 25%. So we'll go a little bit firmer on the fork. We'll get some basic settings in and we'll go and hit the trails.
That sounds great, let's do it. So we are now out on the trails, and of course it's very wet, so that's going to make things a little bit more interesting. So we've got a good base setup now, thanks to Jake and his expertise. But yeah, what are we up to now? So we're going to do a few runs of a few sections of trail, look at how the bike's working, do some video analysis, get some feedback from you as well, because that's always important, and get to a point where you're really happy as a good starting point that you'll set up on your bike. Okay, so when we're back at the workshop, we didn't really do much of the rebound. How does that play into this part? So rebound is really dictated by your spring force. So obviously a firmer spring gives much more force rebounding than a soft spring. So the reason for your dial is so whether you're a light rider or a heavy rider, you can tune that in. We have some settings from our vast database to get you somewhere close, which I've popped in. It was a couple of clicks different to where you were, but we'll look on the trail of footage of you riding and check that the wheel is A, not extending too fast, causing you to lose grip, and B, not rebounding too slowly, which basically means that you end up packing into the travel where the wheel can't recover and track the ground. Okay, cool. So yeah, I guess we've got to go and do some riding now. But first, we've got to show you our new sponsor. So we're sponsored by Northwave. They do all of our clothes, and yeah, let's go and have a look at those. So this right here is the Edge jersey, and it's a spring summer jersey, regardless of this weather. And it comes with a bunch of paneling and a stretch fit. So we've got panels at the cuffs for extra airflow, and panels underneath the armpits for even more airflow. and I think it looks quite nice in this green colour. So right here, these are the bomb pants. They're obviously long, and the trousers. They get a bunch of elastication, so they should fit, and you can put your feet through the holes and stuff super easily. They get an elasticated lumbar for even better fit and support. At the front, we've got 2 pockets, and they come with a super stretchy fabric. So while they are tight and they should stop from snagging on trees and stuff when you're riding, they're plenty stretchy enough for you to get a bit rowdy. But Northwave is really well known for its range of shoes. I'm being a bit of a diva because I've got 2 different pairs, but that's because I like to ride both flats and clips. So this one right here is the Clan 2, and what's really cool about this, it comes with a Michelin sole, so that should offer loads of grip, and as you can see, it's 2 patterns, so at the heel and the toe it's a bit more aggressive, so it should be nice and grippy when I'm walking, but in the middle it's super flat, so that should engage with pedals really nicely. And then this is the Overland, and this is the clipless shoe, and it comes with some really fancy tech. So it's got the sealed upper, but importantly it's got this really cool dial that differs itself from a range of other dials because you can incrementally loosen the fit just by pressing this little thing here. So yeah, that's the Northwave kit. Let's go and get some bikes set up. Right, we've got a nice wet bit of trail here. What's the plan?
So yeah, we've got this nice bit of trail here. It looks super simple and easy, and like anyone of any ability can ride it, but we can see quite a lot of what's going on with your suspension through this little section of trail. Super easy for you to lap. You're not going to get tired. We're going to get the best out of it. And yeah, we'll have a look at what's going on and then make some changes. So you're coming in, what we're looking for is for the bike to remain balanced. And the big thing is, so what the bike is going through is not influencing you. Okay. You as a rider should be influencing the bike, not the bike influencing you. Should we have a quick change of the rebound? It looks a little bit fast at times, where we can see this because the wheel is recovering so fast it's almost throwing you backwards with it. Okay. So we're going to go a couple of clicks slower and get a few more runs in. Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Oh, it felt as if it was skipping over roots a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. I guess that, or taking a bit of rebound off just helped it stay on the ground. Yeah, so you're trying to balance that entire system the whole time. Yeah. You know, if you've got, just because there's no such thing as perfect rebound without perfect compression. Okay. You know, like they have to be a balanced system at all times. Okay, cool. So it's more runs and then more fettling. But yeah, at the moment, all these changes kind of made the fork feel a lot more controlled. Mint. Cool. Like it's not blowing through its treble as we hit this compression. And yeah, it's just stood up more. And we started, I can't remember where the rebound was, but I could feel the front wheel pinging off of these 2 bumps here. Yep. And yeah, now it's sticking, it's all calm and it's easy. Exactly, it should be calm and allow you to focus on what's coming up rather than dealing with what's going on right now. Cool, excellent. Mint. All right, let's move on. All right, so second section, what are we looking at here? So we've just come to this, looks like nothing again. It's literally like 2 little root steps into a flat turn. Pretty wide line, like you can make the steps bigger or smaller, but these 2 root steps are actually really badly spaced for the wheelbase of a modern mountain bike. So it's a really good place for us to look at balance and how that compression through your front and rear end is working. Okay. So you come off here, the bike literally, like if you look at your body position, it stays pretty constant. So as you're coming through here, like if you look at your body position, your arms and legs are moving, but your body is staying pretty much perfectly in line and still. Cool. And then again, this last bump, you come off the bump, off that route and into that hole, and your back wheel isn't using more travel than it needs to. Right, so this is the third section. We've got some more routes, classic 4SD and stuff. What are we looking for here? So here, this is we're at a point now where the bike's looking pretty good.
Yep.
I'm happy with where everything's at, but little sections like these are really good because they're just a bit choppy, a bit unexpected, and if we're going to see something weird rear its head, it'll be now.
Okay,
so
cool.
Let's have a quick look here,
Yep.
and then I think we're pretty close to having it ticked off.
Nice. Let's give it a go.
That is surprisingly choppy, isn't it?
Such a fun little trail,
Yeah. What we would maybe look at doing is adding the compression adjuster to your shock.
Okay.
Because in these situations where it's like repetitive hits,
Yeah.
could just do with making it sit up that tiny bit more.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, like we were saying earlier, we're talking about marginal gains now.
Yeah.
You know.
I definitely know what you mean. I felt the front was stood up through that quite well.
Yeah.
But then the back was kind of like going through it.
Yeah. So that's just where we can't adjust anything other than the spring rate. And if we were to make the spring rate a lot firmer in that situation, it would be a lot worse. So
Okay.
it's kind of the best of where it can be with where we are with the spec on the bike. But to add a compression adjuster to that shock is like 30 quid at retail.
Okay.
You can bolt it on at home. So it's something that's a really, really good upgrade for anyone with one of those DHX or Float X shocks.
That's a great idea. I'd have to look into that.
Mint.
But yeah, the front's feeling really good. Nice, and it's standing up really nicely, the bumps. And especially through like bigger compressions. Just the shock doesn't quite match up to it.
Which we can send you out a compression dial and you can get that fitted at home.
It'd be amazing.
That'll be a really good place to start. We can give you those extra clicks that you need then, literally just by bolting the dial on. We can give you some kind of recommended starting point too. So
That'd be cool.
At least you know that the only place you'll be going from here is forward.
Excellent. So, well, yeah, thanks very much for coming out. I've learned loads about suspension anyway. It's been an amazing opportunity to get used to the bike. And yeah, the bike is feeling pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to getting some racing done on it. Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming out. It's been awesome.
Thank you guys.
And yeah, I guess we got to go to the bottom and yeah,
let's get up for the bottom and get out for a ride again sometime.
Brilliant. Awesome. So that is part one done, and the suspension setup's looking rather good. It's feeling great on the bike. So as you might have guessed, there's going to be two parts to this one, and in the next part we're going to join Suvi, who's gone to Bath to meet a man named Tony Cork, who's going to get her bike adjusted and fit for her perfectly. So we'll see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching.